Probably more toys that we got over here. Let me turn that off right there. There we go. Now we're good. All right. Hey, it's beautiful out there. It's been so nice. We haven't had to do a whole lot here lately because of just how nice things have been. And you can see tonight, we're still hanging out here into the low and mid 40s across the area. 47 in Springfield, 46 degrees in Effingham. If you're heading out and about tonight, no problems here. We're looking good. Back down to near freezing, but tomorrow, oh man, tomorrow's weather is looking fantastic. We'll talk about how close we may even come to records, and then how we completely go the other direction and have snow in the forecast. That's coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Teachers have become so much more than just leading the class. How keeping our kids safe from COVID became the biggest part of learning. The state has identified the first 50 counties that will get the COVID vaccine, why some of them could pose a problem.
And they've continued to serve inside despite state rules against it. Who paid a visit to this restaurant today?
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
We knew we couldn't have classes of 25 and 28 kids.
But they did whatever they could to keep kids there safely. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. This has been a year of adjustments for us all, but few know the struggle as well as teachers. Today, we got a firsthand look at how teachers in one central Illinois school are learning to improvise. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting is live in our newsroom. All right, so you said they are rolling around on carts. What is going on?
Well, Jennifer, you heard correctly there, or at least they're walking around with these cars. They basically made them into portable desks, and it doesn't sound like much, but it may be the secret to their success.
We wanted to be in school if we could.
So teachers at Fisher Grade School made it their mission to find a way.
The principal was very open to all of our ideas and said, well, what if we, were able to use our teachers' aides, and we departmentalized and we moved from class to class, and so each group of kids got to see each teacher every day.
To keep class sizes small, teachers divided their classrooms into 3 different groups. They wheel over to them using these carts, or portable desks, if you will.
It's kind of intense and fast because we're moving 90 minutes and then we move to the next group 90 minutes, and we have to stay on schedule.
For some, that means quick navigation.
Some days it takes us running to get there, yes, but we figure it's kind of like our physical fitness built into our day now too.
But with such a hectic schedule, teachers like Cassie Mitchum are putting in extra effort to keep kids engaged.
It's important to make school fun this year because with everything that's different, we really need to build in that time to build the relationships with kids.
Teachers say it was surprising to see how quickly students adjusted.
Every week we're changing things up or we're doing something different, and they're just like, what's going to be new this week, Mrs. Wright?
And it's those kids who keep these teachers coming back each day, no matter what 2020 throws at them.
The community of Fisher is just here for us, and they're not judgmental. They just know that we're all doing our best and we're trying to make things work for our kids. And I think that it's going pretty well as could be expected.
Now, Fisher has in-person classes every day of the week except for today, Wednesday. So you didn't see any kids in that footage because, of course, it was their virtual learning day to day. And of course, they have to learn how to deal with both in-person and virtual, which means they have to try their best to make the best of both worlds. And I really think they did when it comes to that in-person route that they created. Live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Teachers just don't get paid enough.
They really don't.
For all of that. All right, Courtney, thank you so much. Now, 2 of the women she interviewed have been teaching for at least 30 years. They say making these adjustments has made them better at their jobs, but they do miss having more time with students, which they could do with larger classroom sizes.
Hospitals across the state are preparing for the first doses of the vaccine to arrive as early as next week. Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell is live in Springfield tonight. So, Mark, the governor's office is organizing who gets these first doses.
Paul, good evening. 109,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine are slated to arrive in Illinois as early as next week. So who gets the first shot in the arm? Governor Pritzker and the Department of Public Health decided. They came up with a list. They decided to divide these up and send them across the state to the 50 counties they determined would need them most, especially to the frontline healthcare workers that are working in many of the hospitals in counties with the highest rate of death per capita. But 9 of those rural counties, or a number of them at least, where coroners reported high death rates, don't even have hospitals in them. One of them is just next door here in Cass County. They send most of their infected patients with coronavirus here for treatment in Springfield. So the county health director there told me they asked the state, could they send their 70 doses to the hospital here for doctors and nurses to get the first shots?
Definitely, if there's a county that doesn't have a hospital, we can, because we're focusing on people within that hospital system right now, we can identify the hospitals for that county which their residents actually go to. And we can include, the hubs that are going to be distributing this.
That wasn't the initial plan. They're changing on the fly, trying to get all of their ducks in a row here. Logistics are a big nightmare as they're trying to get that fixed and ready to go. Greene County, south of Jacksonville, has just one hospital in the whole county. The hospital administrator there told me that she herself got coronavirus and had to miss work for 2 weeks. And she said roughly 1 in 5 staff there at that hospital also were out sick after being infected. Now, vaccines are on the way, and she tells me some of her own workers, the doctors and nurses there, are a bit leery themselves. They're watching all this come out. It's a vaccine that's never been there before, but as they take the vaccine, as they relay that experience to the patients who come in, perhaps some have questions of their own, these frontline healthcare workers who've been fighting the pandemic itself will be on the front lines fighting that other virus gripping our nation, the viral spread of misinformation. Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
No question that's going to be the biggest fight over the next few months as well. Mark, thanks. You may be able to get your COVID-19 vaccine another place, at the dentist. They are offering up their medical skills to help administer the vaccine. Their offices shut down at the beginning of the pandemic to offer up some of their personal protection gear to offer it to hospitals instead. And now they're offering up their services to help offer an end to this pandemic so it might come more quickly.
We're already approved for the flu vaccine. This is the sort of thing that we're good at. We give a lot of injections every day in a very careful and safe manner. We know how to do this. We're experts at it.
Dentists will have to undergo special training before they can give you a COVID vaccine, but the state already cleared the way for them to start doing that training.
Now, the state is reporting more than 8,200 new cases. That's more than 812,000 total. The positivity rate is now at 11.4%. 179 more people have died. 8 of those were in Sangamon County. Illinois has lost well over 13,000 to COVID-19. A day shelter is temporarily closing because a volunteer tested positive. The dwelling place in Danville will now be closed until December 21st. The president says protocols for a Christmas donation event included social distancing, appointments to shop, and mask wearing. She also says they don't regret hosting the event for low-income children. To help keep everybody safe, they are urging attendees to get tested just in case.
Illinois State University may be a couple weeks out from having saliva-based testing on campus, thanks to the U of I. The school is working with the U of I to open a lab inside the science building on its campus. University leaders hope to have the site up and running by now, but they're awaiting approval from the FDA. All students living on campus will be required to get tested before returning to their dorms.
It was worth staying up late to watch what the Illini are saying after their big-time win against Duke.
Also tonight.
If I go to curbside, I'm going to have to lay off, 15 employees.
They're challenging public health officials and staying open for indoor dining. Who paid a visit to that restaurant today?
All right. Not another nice day. The first.
Nice
and then we get another
and we
tomorrow.
get an even better one tomorrow, and may even be able to squeeze in Friday as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3 days in a row of at least 50s. We'll take that. Actually, is that right? Hold on here. Today's Wednesday. 3 days. I was trying to get crazy. I was thinking 4, but 3 days, and we'll take that here in December. Well, let's recap. 57 the high. Believe it or not, tomorrow may be warmer than what we had today. Some areas did touch the 60-degree mark, and I anticipate that tomorrow. We'll show you that, and rain and snow in the forecast when we come back.
Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Lighty.
Temperatures today were very comfortable. I hope you had a chance to get outside, get a little fresh air out there. It was just so nice. Maybe take a little walk, take the dog out for a walk. Tomorrow's going to be just as nice, and if not better. So got another day if you didn't get a chance to today, but go ahead and put that down. Mark that down for something to do tomorrow. Just get outside. 30 in Paxton tonight for a low. We're going to say about 32 in Decatur, 33 in Sullivan. So right about near the freezing mark, which is still pretty mild. We should be in the 20s for lows. So we'll take it. There's your clear skies. I mean, nothing as far as any cloud cover. And Toys for Tots looks great tomorrow. As we top out there back into the upper 50s, I wouldn't be surprised if a 60-degree reading comes our way in a few spots. We'll say about 57 in Georgetown, and in Kansas, a high temperature there of around 58 degrees. And we'll say Ashcombe, how about a high of 57, looking very comfortable. So where do we go from here? Well, as I mentioned, so today we had the 50s. We're going to be seeing that again here for Friday and now maybe even Saturday. So I guess I would be right. Maybe 4 days of those 50s there because we think an area of low pressure is going to track a little bit to the north. Now what that means for us is basically more rain and a smaller chance for on the back side of this to be a little bit of snow. But it's still possible. Notice here that 97% of the color it's going to show up here in our area is going to be the green, which is your rain. It is on the back side, and that colder air wraps in. Maybe a few hours where a few snowflakes could mix in, but I'm not anticipating or I'm not forecasting any accumulation with that. We are definitely forecasting some decent rainfall amounts, over an inch of much needed rain in several locations. 32 for tonight, mostly clear. Tomorrow, back up to 58 degrees. What's going to be a really nice sunny day that you're going to love. Download our WCIA3 weather app when you're on the go. Get the very latest there with that. And let's show you your 7-day forecast, which shows our very warm temperatures here through the end of the week, and then the precipitation coming in for the weekend. Again, rain mainly, a little bit of snow could mix in. Highs next week, back down to where they should be, unfortunately, which is the mid and upper 30s, but overall not looking too bad. But tomorrow is looking great. I'm doing a deep dive into what the last 5 years, can you remember the last 5 years on Toys for Tots, what the temperature was? I'm going to show you what those were on those days.
I know last year I was wearing a reindeer hat, ski hat, so I know it was cold.
It was cold the last couple of years.
I had my own Rudolph nose, right?
I'll have those numbers coming up in the second half.
Okay, that's fun.
You hear his voice introducing the Fighting Illini. What NBA games our very own Tim Sinclair will be announcing next.
Plus, this fire lit up the early morning sky in Campus Town. Why they shut down traffic around this high-rise apartment today.
Live from your local news leader, Jennifer Roscoe, Paul Cicchini, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast, with meteorologist Kevin Lighty and Brett Behrens on sports. You're watching WCIA 3 News at 6.
We've got an update for you. We told you about an Urbana restaurant that's serving people inside. That's despite the state's rules against it.
Last week, the health department revoked Apple Dumplings' food permit. Today, the health department visited again, and nothing had changed. The restaurant was still serving inside. The owners decided to shut down for the rest of today, but plan to open again tomorrow. They explained they need to serve inside to make enough money to support themselves and their employees.
It is a clean restaurant. My kitchen is open. You can sit down in the dining room and see what's going on in my kitchen. We pride ourselves on it. We sanitize everything. I mean, I have so much extra mitigation going on in here, and I feel that we can operate safely.
CU Public Health Administrator says the restaurant will be held in contempt of court. State's Attorney's Office is likely to get a temporary restraining order to shut them down. The owner said it hasn't happened yet. State's Attorney's Office wouldn't comment on the situation at this time. And here's a follow-up. Springfield's mayor is opening the city's checkbook a little bit to try and keep the police chief in the city.
Jim Langfelder offered Police Chief Kenny Winslow a 5% raise after Winslow was offered a new job as police chief in Franklin, Tennessee. The mayor says he hasn't heard an official decision from Winslow since he made the offer.
That shows the credit to us and to Chief Winslow, the type of person he is. He's a quality individual, and we've had him here. And you have one of the top spots to be near Nashville, really sought after him.
A 5% raise is the highest the mayor can offer without council approval. He says Winslow applied for the job in Tennessee because his family is familiar with the area, but it was the only job that he applied to.
It was a pretty big game last night.
Yeah, you could say so, right?
It was a nice score.
A lot of people excited to see this basketball program after everything that we've been through the last 8 months.
And I don't care that Duke's having a bad year. It was still
That's
Duke.
fine. It's Duke, right?
Yes.
You got to beat them.
Yes.
They were still ranked in the top 10 when the game
just
started.
That. Yes. We will hear from the team coming up in sports right after this. Illini feeling good today.
From the official television station of Illini Sports, this is WCIA 3 Sports and your Illini Nation.
Illinois basketball goes to Duke and not only beats the Blue Devils, they dominate. This is not a dream. It really did happen last night as the 6th-ranked Illini show they are the real deal, handing Coach K just his 11th non-conference home loss in 41 years. And it tied for the worst margin point-wise in a defeat for him. Illinois brought a balanced attack, scoring 6 guys in double figures, and they came to play early, starting the game on a 14-2 run. They controlled the tempo, outscoring the Blue Devils by 12 in fast break points. Combine that with Duke missing its first 12 threes of the night, and it all adds up to Illinois' first marquee win of the season.
We had a different presence about us today than we had in Indy the other night. I thought we had a better shoot around today. I thought we had obviously got off to a great start, and then we could kind of settle in. But I liked our mental approach today, having some veterans, haven't been there before, and again, I mean, we just came into Cameron Indoor and found a way to win.
It doesn't happen very often, just 3 times for a non-con team the past 2 decades. Ayo Dosunmu a big reason why, putting up a team-high 18 points and a game-high 12 rebounds for just his 3rd career double-double. The junior guard is now averaging 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, living up to the hype of a preseason All-American.
It was put up or shut up. You know, it was one of those games because, you know, a lot of talk was up with us in the preseason and, you know, this, that, and, you know, we come out, had 2 great opportunities to play 2 really good teams. So we accepted the challenge. We came and we played well. And now we have a very hungry Missouri team who's been playing great. We owe them one.
Should be a great game Saturday night for bragging rights at Mizzou. Big Ten football news today and big changes as the Big Ten Conference votes to eliminate the minimum game requirement to make next week's championship game down from 6 to 5. That means Ohio State is heading to Indianapolis to play Northwestern, despite the Buckeyes only playing those 5 games. And with their matchup this Saturday against Michigan canceled due to COVID-19, they were not going to have enough originally before the new waiver. Congrats to our very own Tim Sinclair on another new gig. He is now the Chicago Bulls public address announcer. Sinclair has spent the past 2 years working in the same role with the Pacers. He also does Illinois basketball games, and he'll continue to do that. But now his voice is growing louder in the Windy City as the stadium voice of 3 out of the top 6 pro sports teams there with the Bulls, Bears, and Fire.
There are some opportunities you just don't say no to, and this was one of them. Grew up a Bulls fan. I still get the goosebumps when that serious track starts playing, and so when I knew that was an opportunity, I decided to jump at it.
Tim gets going right away. First Bulls preseason game is this Friday.
That's pretty cool.
It's going to be great.
I couldn't get to it fast enough. Oh, no, that's not it. I was trying to play the music. All right, we're getting wrapped. It's in my head, though. All right, so have you ever thought about just decorating something for someone else's enjoyment, where someone did that just to brighten up the holidays?
Plus this.
This is a program that will benefit the community.
Especially some young mothers and their kids, where it's all about healthcare and a home.
You may have seen some stuff posted on Facebook here the last day or two about being able to maybe see the auroras. Well, there's a geomagnetic storm that is occurring overnight tonight, and the best chance of that is going to be well to our north, I really think. You may get lucky, but we're really thinking places Chicago northward to see possibly the northern lights.
Well, that would be cool. How about a bright spot for you anyway? There's one in Champaign County along Route 45. Someone wanted everyone who drives north of Tolono to be in the holiday spirit. So check it out. They have festively decorated 8 to 10 trees, evergreens, on the east side of the highway. That includes Christmas balls, garland, and that is one way, of course, to brighten someone's day. We want to see your pictures and videos, so email us. Send them to us on Facebook, news@WCIA.com. Facebook.com is another way to do it.
Firefighters put their lives on the line every day, but what about the latest challenge they're facing with COVID-19? Plus, her friend died in a car crash. How one St. Joseph teenager is honoring her family and spreading cheer at the same time.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6:30.
Some restaurants in Springfield are being told their outdoor seating is breaking fire codes.
The news is surprising to both owners and some city officials. WCIA 3's Cole Hankey live in Springfield. Cole, these businesses cannot catch a break.
That's right. Springfield restaurants have been in problem-solving mode for months. And just when they thought they had this whole outdoor seating thing figured out, they were told that they're breaking the rules. Restaurants and bars are using heaters to help keep their outdoor seating areas warm. But business owners in Springfield just found out that their patio heaters, which are propane-powered and have an open flame, break the city's fire code if they are put under a tent. They've been told not to use them. It's caused some places like Buzz Bomb Brewery to limit their hours because without the heat, outdoor seating at night wasn't an option.
Honestly, it felt like we were being kicked while we were already down. And I mean, I really can't understand that decision. You know, I mean, you mentioned already that we've done everything we can so far and gone above and beyond even in terms of pandemic safety. So it's not certainly not that we don't want to be safe.
It wasn't Buzz Bomb or any of the other restaurants on the block who made enough noise for the city to take a look at changing the fire code. It was a retail shop on the block called Reverie Apparel. Owner Patrick Russell put a video on Facebook drawing attention to the issue. He says the tent is indirectly helping his store.
A business owner is a retailer, along with Itty Bitty Fashion Trunk and Whimsy Tea Company and the Elf Shelf. We benefit from having the tent here because of foot traffic.
City leaders haven't come to a solid conclusion about what restaurants will have to do. Mayor Jim Langfelder says he's open to using city money to help businesses make changes, like buying new heaters that adhere to the fire code.
And I had a director's call today with the chief was on there as well and challenged people, you know, we're in this day and age. We need to the first answer can't be, no, you can't do this. How can you do it? That's what we need to take a look at.
One of the ideas Langfelder proposed to fix this would be to require the businesses to have an employee outside in the tents watching these heaters constantly to make sure that something doesn't happen. Jennifer?
I don't know what to say about that. Okay, Cole, thank you so much. No one was hurt after a house fire in Coles County last night. It was near Beech Tree and Red Bud Roads just west of Charleston. One person was inside and made it out safely. The state fire marshal is investigating the cause. And a follow-up to last week's Campus Town fire, a portion of Green Street in Champaign was shut down today. Workers were on site at a high-rise apartment building a week after a fire on the roof. It took 10 crews to battle it near 4th Street. No one was hurt, but 2 people were displaced after water damaged their apartments. No word on a cause.
One person's dead after a semi crashed and caught fire this morning. Happened on eastbound I-70 at the I-57 interchange around 1:30. The fire chief says a semi went off the road as the driver appeared to be exiting to I-57. Investigators say the truck was on fire when they arrived. The driver died. The Effingham County coroner is working with the trucking company to identify that driver. We have some new information. A jury convicted a man for the 2017 bombing of a mosque in Minnesota today. Michael Harry was found guilty on all 5 counts, which included civil rights and hate crime charges. Harry, from Clarence, Illinois, was the ringleader of a small militia group behind the bombing. Prosecutors outlined Harry's hatred for Muslims as his motivation. They cited anti-Islam excerpts from his manifesto. Harry's also charged with trying to set fire to a women's health clinic in Champaign. We have some new information. It's regarding the Ford County water superintendent who's accused of hitting a woman with his car. We reported yesterday Paul Thiesfield was charged with attempted aggravated criminal sexual assault and attempted aggravated kidnapping. The state's attorney says Thiesfield hit a woman with his car Saturday in an attempt to incapacitate her so he could kidnap and rape her. Thiesfield was terminated from his positions in both Elliott and Roberts.
Springfield police are investigating an afternoon shooting where one person was seriously hurt. It happened near 18th and South Grand. The victim showed up at the hospital with 2 gunshot wounds. Police say they are considered life-threatening.
We're closing in on the cold, even though it hardly feels like it today. Just making sure kids in need have a coat.
Because it's going to be here. And plus, it's an opportunity of a lifetime where young mothers now have a place to call their own.
The news continues here on WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Some young moms in Champaign County now have access to safer and healthier housing.
It's thanks to a partnership between Carl and the Housing Authority of Champaign County. Carl gave Housing Authority leaders $150,000 to renovate 3 homes. They'll soon be available to young moms who are part of the Healthy Beginnings program at Carl.
This is a program that will benefit the community. Carl will bring in the healthy aspects of it, ensuring that the families get the health care they needed. The Housing Authority will provide the financial support for the families to live that was homeless or in bad situations.
The homes are side by side on Kohler Street in Urbana. Mayor Diane Marlin says they chose these homes because they're close to jobs, schools, and bus lines.
Danville firefighters delivered more than 200 coats to the Danville School District. It was part of their Operation Warm program. The coats will be handed out to grade schoolers who need warmer clothes in the winter months. The local 429 raised money to buy them. They want to thank everyone who donated. A state grant is helping 2 organizations in Champaign-Urbana tackle racial equity, healing, and racism. The ILLINI Illinois grant means the United Way of Champaign County will participate in a equity challenge starting in January. They also got $15,000 to hand out grants for projects focused on racial healing. The Urbana Neighborhood Connections also got grant money that will let them do a 6-week focus group program with African Americans on racism, with the intention to broaden that out to a citywide theme on human kindness. We have more information on our website. Just go to WCIA.com.
One of the things that President-elect Joe Biden is known for is train travel from his home to the nation's capital. How that trip is being honored with a tip of the month.
Plus, tip of the cap to the weather guy. Kevin is going to be back to let us know how much better things will be.
Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Lighty.
All right, let's take a look at temperatures out there for tonight. You can see readings are going to be down into the low and mid 40s here over the next few hours. Eventually, we fall back down to near freezing by morning, but hey, that's okay because what we've got coming tomorrow, you're just going to love. So 32 degrees there, places like Decatur, 33 in Arcola, and 32 in Paris. Clear skies, lots of sunshine today. More of that coming as we head into the day tomorrow for Toys for Tots, which looks great. Upper 50s. 60 degrees, somebody's going to hit that 60 tomorrow. Mark my word. Georgetown, how about 57 for you guys? We'll say in Kansas. Down in Edgar County, high temperature there of 58 degrees. And we'll take it to Ashcombe, where we're going to forecast that 57-degree high. So all is good there. High temperatures stay in the 50s for several days. Friday and Saturday. The problem is, by that time, we may be dealing with a little bit of rain. Now, you can see how the temperatures drop off nearly 15 degrees by Sunday and to start out early next week. Okay, so let's take a look at things here. We've got rain moving in late Friday night, and then especially I think during the day Saturday, could see a good amount of that day full of rain. On the backside, we see maybe a little bit of light snow. So let's kind of show you this again. Here's the future track. That's 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. So if you've got something you want to do earlier in the day Friday, you're okay. But Friday night and for a good chunk of the day Saturday, I'm telling you right now, anything outdoors Saturday morning, not going to be great. Maybe catching a break there in the early evening hours. And then the backside comes that little bit of light snow that's going to be possible. More than anything, rainmaker. Big time rains here compared to what we've had. And we could use this because we still have severe drought conditions out there across the area. Tonight, down to 32 degrees, mostly clear. Temperatures very nice tomorrow at 58. Clearly the best day of the upcoming week. All right. Before we get to the 7-day here, we'll take a look at the weather app. That I encourage you to download the weather app here for free. Search WCIA 3 Weather to stay up to date with the very latest. Okay, now here comes your 7-day forecast. We've got the rain there for the weekend. Very soggy, I think. We've got a 90% chance of rain showing up for Saturday. And then next week, we're going to see temperatures there into the mid-30s. Okay, before we go here, I want to look back at the Toys for Tots high temperatures here. So take a look, okay? 44 last year was the high, 34 in 2018, 30 in 2017. Do you get a trend here? Ooh. 23 in 2016, but look at 2015. It was actually 57 degrees, and that's pretty much what we're forecasting for tomorrow. So again, those are the highs. So keep in mind, guys, that even with those temperatures there, that was the high, so which happens at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it falls. So you can just imagine what 2016 was like when it was 23 for the high the entire day.
Also probably not factoring any wind chill.
Yeah, no wind chills in there either, but definitely tomorrow, rivaling 2015.
All right.
Remember back that far.
15 years.
Yeah.
Fast math. All right, thank you. They are trying to light up the holiday sky where organizers are, oh my gosh, did I say 15?
Yeah. We're totally going to let it slide. All right. It's been a year of unbelievable challenge, especially when it comes to math. How you can end it by making a child's holiday one they'll want to remember.
This is WCIA 3 News, your local news leader.
In a dark time, one girl is hoping to bring light to her community.
Audrey Short is a St. Joseph Ogden senior. She's organizing a parade of Christmas lights in 10 days. It's to honor the life of another senior, Nadira Edwards. She died after a crash last week. Short says she got the idea to charge $5 for an entry fee for decorated vehicles. That money would then go to the Edwards family. She says the emotions she's feeling about the event are mixed.
It's definitely like a joyful time. Like, I'm hoping it can bring joy to her family, knowing that everybody cares about her enough to come out and do this, even on a cold night. But it's also like sad because we do have to raise money and donate it to them.
It's been a challenge to organize the event at the last minute, but Short says official counts say 80 people have confirmed their attendance. She says hundreds have said they're interested in joining that parade. And here's your chance to make this holiday season more magical for kids in need. Tomorrow is our Toys for Tots drive.
We're going to be in our back parking lot and in Danville at Crossroads Christian Church, bright and early, 6 a.m. to 7 at night. Danville volunteers say unemployment struggles and other challenges have led to more families in need this year.
She is getting phone calls every day from people who didn't have an opportunity to sign up, who desperately need the help for their children. And she wants to make sure that as many of those families as can receive assistance.
They're relying on a big amount of donations to be able to help those additional families. Danville volunteers say they're hoping for toys suited for kids ranging from 8 to 14 years old. And that's not just Danville. I know we are always asking for that also here in our back parking lot. You got to remember those kids too.
Yeah. And we will have a look at what's making headlines in Central Illinois next.
That includes what's happening to a Central Illinois restaurant that's serving indoors, what public health says is the next step to try and close the kitchen.
This is WCIA 3 News, your local news leader.
Here's a look at the top local stories of the day. An area day shelter is temporarily closed after a volunteer for a recent event at the center tested positive for COVID. The dwelling place in Danville will be closed until December 21st. It's working with the county health department on contact tracing.
A restaurant in Urbana has been serving people inside despite the rules against it. Last week, the health department revoked the Apple Dumplings food permit. The restaurant closed today after the health district showed up, and officials say it will be held in contempt of court. The state's attorney's office will likely get a temporary restraining order to shut them down.
A jury convicted Michael Harry for the 2017 bombing of a mosque in Minnesota today. He was guilty on 5 counts that included civil rights and hate crime charges. Harry from Clarence, Illinois, was the ringleader of a small militia group behind the bombing.
Coming up, we're going to let you know what we're working on for our 10 o'clock newscast.
What's this?
It's a Northeast IPA. We call it a double Delaware IPA.
And it's dedicated to Delaware's favorite son. A man who doesn't drink is being honored with his own beer. A COVID-19 vaccine will soon be available, and even though few side effects have been reported, some are concerned about one group that hasn't been tested yet.
Those are teenagers. Coming up tonight at 10, what health experts had to say on the testing process so far and why that group was excluded.
Well, wow, tomorrow's looking great with a 58-degree high temperature, lots of sunshine, just a beautiful day. Come on out and see us at the Toys for Tots Toy Drive. Looking good there, but after that, the weekend gets rainy, it may snow, so definitely take advantage tomorrow. Just get out.
Yeah.
Take advantage.
In some way. Yeah. All right, thanks.
In Delaware, President-elect Joe Biden is a fixture. Many people have stories of meeting him on the train between Wilmington and Washington, D.C.
To commemorate that trip and Joe Biden, the local brewery has a new beer honoring him. It's called the Rail Car One. Wilmington to Washington. Ironically, Biden doesn't drink beer or any alcohol. Because of that, Wilmington Brew Works decided against using his likeness on the can. Instead, it went with an Amtrak train design. The first batch has already sold out.
We have more news tonight at 9 and 10.
And one more time, we're going to say it. Don't forget the toy drive. And of course, we're also taking money. And I'm going to be handing out Roscoe Rally caps. $100 for a hat tomorrow, $50 for a shout out in the year. Got to tune in tomorrow.
See you there.